They say a city is just stone and street until someone whispers a story into it. Dalaran never needed the reminder. Its cobbles hum with steps and half-muttered spells, with every promise the Council of Six made to hold the world together while it frayed. Stand on the rim at first light and look down, wherever down is this decade, and you feel that promise through your boots. The wind tastes like ink and starlight. The air smells of vellum and a ghost of ozone from wards that have sung for centuries. This city is a legend, a treasury of memories and spells, wrapped in the nostalgia of an age that still echoes through its stone walls. Long ago, after the defeat of the wild trolls and the fall of the human empire of Arathor, a group of the most gifted magicians sought a sanctuary, a place where they could freely shape the arcane and explore the mysteries of creation. Thus, Dalaran was born, a city built by humans, yet inspired by elven magic. From the beginning, it was guided by a council of wise magi known as the Kirin Tor, who sought to use magic for good and to protect the world from the dangers that reckless spellcraft could bring. In its first centuries, Dalaran flourished. Within its marble libraries, the pages of dwarven tomes and elven scrolls whispered in unison. At night, lanterns filled with arcane light illuminated the streets. The air trembled with enchantments, from simple household charms to complex experiments attempting to unravel the secrets of the Titans. But such brilliance could not go unnoticed. The blazing aura of magic soon caught the eye of the Burning Legion. Long before the world heard the name Archimonde, demonic shadows had already begun creeping into the corners of Dalaran. The Kirin Tor fought them in secret, silent wars in which many magi sacrificed themselves to keep the demons from consuming Azeroth. But greater trials lay ahead. Peace would not last. A new plague swept across the lands, the Scourge. The young prince Arthas, once the pride of humanity, lost himself in his desperate fight against darkness. In his quest to save his kingdom, he took up a cursed blade and became a Death Knight, a servant of evil. Kingdoms fell before him, and soon, his gaze turned towards Dalaran. The defenders, led by Archmage Antonidas himself, prepared for the inevitable siege. Antonidas, grey-haired, wise and proud, believed that knowledge and light could overcome even the darkest of shadows. But Arthas was no longer the boy Antonidas once knew, training alongside Jaina Proudmoore in the halls of Dalaran. Now he was the cold champion of death, leading the armies of the Scourge. The battle for Dalaran was fierce and desperate. The streets that once echoed with laughter and glowing spells now ran red with blood. Antonidas stood his ground in the central square, channeling his last strength to defend the heart of the city. Yet the forces of death overwhelmed him. The great Archmage fell, his staff rolling across the cobblestones as its light dimmed. Jaina, his brilliant pupil, was gone, guided away by the mysterious prophet to seek salvation overseas. And so Dalaran was left nearly defenseless. Arthas claimed what he came for, the fabled Book of Medivh, a tome of ancient spells that could summon the infernal armies of the Legion. Upon the ruins of Dalaran, Kel'Thuzad, necromancer and servant of the Lich King, began a dreadful ritual. The sky split apart in a storm of emerald fire as Archimonde himself emerged through the portal. The demon lord surveyed the city below, and with a single contemptuous gesture, he wiped Dalaran from the face of Azeroth. The spires that had stood for centuries crumbled into dust. Yet even in ruin, Dalaran's spirit endured. Those who survived the cataclysm refused to surrender. When Archimonde was destroyed at Mount Hyjal and the Legion defeated, the surviving magi of the Kirin Tor returned to the crater that had once been their home. They raised a shimmering barrier over the ruins to contain the unstable magic that still pulsed there, and slowly began to rebuild. Brick by brick, spell by spell, Dalaran was reborn, like a phoenix from the ashes. Years passed, and a miracle followed. Dalaran rose into the sky. No longer willing to be vulnerable on the ground, the city floated above the world, held aloft by the power of dozens of archmages. Over the calm waters of Lordemere Lake, its towers once again gleamed with arcane brilliance. The city lived anew, now a sanctuary of wisdom, suspended among the clouds. When darkness returned in the form of the Lich King's power in Northrend, Dalaran answered the call. It moved north, across the frozen sea, appearing above the crystal forest, a beacon of light in the endless winter. Here, heroes of both the Alliance and Horde gathered, united against the Scourge. The floating city became a bastion of hope, a place where warriors planned battles, healed their wounds, and mages studied the secrets that could shatter the frozen throne. Then came the Legion again. From the shattered isles rose green flames of invasion, and the demons poured once more into Azeroth. This time, the Kirin Tor did not hesitate. Guided by Archmage Khadgar, Medivh's former apprentice, and one of the greatest living magi, Dalaran became the rallying point of all defenders. The city tore through the skies and appeared above the broken isles, shining like a fortress of light against the void. Here, beneath Dalaran's violet glow, heroes from every corner of the world gathered. The floating city became the heart of the resistance. Every morning, griffins and airships soared from its gates, carrying champions to the front lines. Within its halls, scholars worked tirelessly beside warriors. And Khadgar himself delved deep into ancient tomes, searching for a weapon that could end the Legion once and for all. The final battles were brutal, but Dalaran held firm. Its shields defied the flames of the Legion, until victory was achieved, and the Dark Titan Sargeras was finally imprisoned. When the storm passed, the city once again floated in tranquil silence. The air smelled of ozone and fresh rain, and the sky above the towers turned soft pink at dusk, as if the world itself sighed in relief. Today, Dalaran still drifts serenely between the clouds, changed yet eternal. Its story is a mosaic of triumph and tragedy, light and shadow intertwined. Every stone beneath its streets remembers a legend. On one square, Antonidas fell defending his home, and they say his spirit still whispers there at night. On a high balcony, Jaina once dreamed of peace. Beneath ancient arches, Khadgar still walks, lost in thought, carrying the memory of every war. Cities don't save the world, people do. But Dalaran is where they learn why and how, and where they return when the saving is done, and all that's left is the long exhale of work that didn't require perfection, only persistence. Stand on the rim and watch cloud shade pool like ink below. Up here, the horizon is a promise, not a border. The wind brings stories stolen from mountain and sea, and somewhere in the underbelly, a baker counts loaves for morning, each one a small, warm spell against the cold. That is Dalaran, a city that teaches magic to fly, and more importantly, to land.